Good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry.
Morning.
Hi.
You hear me well?
Okay, I'm so sorry. It's supposed to start at 10:50, but this is my beef. When you start an event at 11 or 10:50, usually people join very late in 10-20 minutes. So I'm so sorry that I make you guys listen to all of that kind of music. Let's start the event today when we have everyone. So good morning, everyone. How are you today on a not really beautiful Sunday?
Good morning. I think the weather is pretty good outside though, no? At least it's sunny in my place. How about you? You live?
No, it's not sunny.
Oh, really?
Okay, cool. So we have two speakers today, both two speakers. So thank you so much, Guy, especially Liam. You know, you my mentee, and I'm so proud to be your mentor, and I'm so proud to be like a part of your journey in Canada. And Rusi in Ottawa. Okay, so let's start the event today. People will join later. Good morning, Swan. Good morning, Whitney. So Swan will be our timer today. No pressure. Hey, Sam. I call it. I love your new hair colors. Can't hear you just yet. The people who joined today are familiar with the SpeakUp Club. Hi, William.
Oh my God!
Why would you join us?
No, I'll join today.
So we have today we have two speakers. Liam, it's my mentee, and then me. She's a very lovely person, and again, like the posters we posted for the event, they're both newcomers in Canada, and I'm so glad to have them here because they are the representative of the Vietnamese community, young and very ambitious people that I'm very proud to be a part of their journey in here. So here's the SpeakUp Club missions. I would invite Ji Hoa to make an honor to read out the missions. Would that be okay, Ji Hoa?
Okay, but it's a little noisy in my house, so please ignore it. Hội Nghiện Việc SpeakUp is committed to provide a fun, interactive, and supportive platform where every member can practice public speaking skill, share, connect, and convey their thought and feeling with others. Together, we care, we share, and we thrive as a community.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you. And congratulations on your new job.
Thank you so much. I'm a little busy, so I really participate in chatting in groups.
And do you want to read the rules? And hello, by the way.
Good morning, everyone. Sure, I can read the rules. So for Hội Nghiện Việc SpeakUp Club's rules, so the first rule is that you must have fun. The second one is to be yourself. You don't need to be anyone else. Be yourself first. And we need to respect each other. And here we embrace honesty and transparency.
Cool. So the agenda today, we have two speakers. Liam will go first. And Liam, you have 7 to 10 minutes. So I know you have no problem with presenting, but this is a different sort of setup. And then after Liam, we'll have a few questions after that. And then me will present the topic. So I'll give the floor to you guys since we are a little bit behind the schedule. I'll stop sharing and the floor is yours, Liam.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss for all of that. And can I have a permission to share my screen?
Yes. Oh, I always forget that. There we go. So while Liam is sharing his screen, he's a master candidate. He lives in Victoria, BC. He only been here in Canada less than a year, and I can't tell you enough how how awesome he is. And thank you for being friends.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So hi everyone. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here today to share you some of my story. And as first, it's about me. My name is Liam, and I'm a former security engineer at APT Information System. And for now, I'm a master candidate at University of Victoria in my major, cybersecurity. Okay, today I bring you some of my problem, but I think it's not just my problem, but our problem. Okay, so have you ever experienced the feel of you want to do something bigger than you, something that you know that's good for you, but they an evil prevent you from doing that? That's evil, maybe lack of motivation, or you're afraid of getting out of your comfort zone, or just even it's procrastination. Yeah, you procrastinate for a year or even like learning new language, but you didn't start it. Yeah, so I have a solution for that. But before the solution, let me tell you a story because it's story time. Okay, in late Qin dynasty in China, you may know about Qin dynasty, about Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. And at the late of that dynasty, people are so getting mad of the emperor. They hate the government and want a rebellion. And their general, Xiang Yu, he led the rebellion. So look at the number here. Xiang Yu want to fight Qin army. He have 30,000 men, but that's 400,000. So 3, but that's 40. No, it's more than 10 times our number. So how can we fight them? But it's not just the first, not just one drawback. The other, he has to cross a river, and he's offensive side, so he have to attack the China army. So how did he do? How did he do to win this battle, to win this war? So with our number, the first order of Xiang Yu after crossing the river, he break all the current and sink all the boats. What? Why need to break all the current and sink the boats? Yeah. And he ordered his men. He warned his men that there's no way to survive. The only way to survive is advance and fight and win the war, because there is no port to retreat. There is no current to defend anymore. Yeah, it's what his man did. His man just advanced and won the war. And that's what makes Xiang Yu a king. In China, then idiom we call 保府生州, or in Vietnamese is 法府trầm châu, which means, literally it means break the current and sink the boat. The meaning for that is that there's no way to retreat, there's no way to return, and just moving forward. Okay, that's how Xiang Yu won the battle. Xiang Yu won the war and being a king. So nowadays, 2,000 years later, we don't have Qin army anymore. We don't have that kind of enemy. But I think that we all share an enemy in our brain, an evil procrastination monkey. So how to fight with them? How to fight with this monkey? That's prevent us from doing a lot of things. I think we still can use that strategy. I call it endgame strategy, or 匍匐争州. Yeah, as I told you, break all the current. So for an example, what did I apply in my life, in my personal development? Okay, I plan I used to plan for a certificate, a big certificate. It's called like golden certificate in cyber security, and people like spend 4 months or many months or even many years for that certificate. But I planned for myself doing it in 5 weeks. Yeah, but and the first thing I do for my plan is I break my current. I send my appointment for the exam. I set the appointment after 4 weeks, and yes, and I paid first. I paid 1,000 Canadian dollar for that exam, and the only way I can make it work is like pass the exam, or else I will lose the money for nothing. Yeah, so I break the current, and the result is, fortunately I got it. And we do I do the break the current, and I sing my post, and I got it after 5 weeks. Is what I planned for. And the funny point, not just the certificate, of course, it's a big reward, but it saved me a lot of time. Like I told you, instead of spend for 5 months or even many years for that certificate, I just do it in 5 weeks. I also apply that strategy for my other certificates and my other exam, like IL or other. Instead of long time plan, I just do it. I book for the exam in advance. Secondly, it's also like increase my time management skill, because you just have 5 weeks, and you just only study. I also have my lecture. I also have my student to teach, and a lot of other things. So time manage my time management skill erase a lot. And not just another example, it also helped me to out my comfort zone. Another example, when I in the first of my semester, I will offer a teaching assistant position, and my professor give me two offers. First of all, doing lecture, like giving the lectures to students, 150 students, and answer their question, interact with them to help them out with their assignment for whole the semester. And secondly, writing tutorial and marking. Yeah, for me, to be honest, I'm not confident with my public speaking and English skill, and I will be really fine with just marking. It will be much easier for me. Yeah, doing marking and writing tutorial is my I think it's my pros. But my weakness will be public speaking. Do you know what I choose? I choose the first one because it's the only way I can improve my skill, improve my public speaking, and even my interaction skills to facing with people. And I think I broke my current. And when I took that offer, the only way I can do now is just prepare as much as possible and do it good. Okay, you can see there are a lot of bonus points for that strategy, but I think there are no holy grail in personal development. There are a lot of drawbacks in this strategy. So what it is? Okay, you are wondering why there is a physics formula here with pressure equal force in area. The reason is actually, I don't know what the reason is, because I can and I love it. And okay, just kidding. Look at this. You can see force divide area. You can say force will be the effort you put into your long goal. The long goal. On the area is the time or the duration you spend for that. So for when apply this strategy, I still spend the enough effort to pass the exam. The effort will not change, so I have the same F, but the area or the time I spend for it, it's just 5 weeks, so it's much smaller, right? And when the time is smaller, the pressure will be much higher. So that's why the first drawback is to be really pressure and stressful. Secondly, it's still pressure because 5 weeks instant study, and you still have to do a lot of other things. So it's pressure. And third, and the last but not least, the drawback will be it's still pressure. It's all pressure. But you know what? Pressure made diamond. There's no diamond without pressure. And who doesn't like diamond? Yeah, it is what I want to share today. Thank you for listening.
We're good on time, Swan?
Thank you. Yeah, I am open for any question for my strategy.
I do have a question. Can I go first?
Yes.
Well, I mean, like first, Liam, congratulations on your CISSP. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually have two questions. First is like, how many languages do you speak? And then second, like from which movie did you cut? Or is that like the emperor from? Definitely, that's not how he looked back then. Just wondering from which movie so I can watch.
Okay.
You know?
Let me see. Oh, first of all, I speak English, Vietnamese, and Chinese because I just I really love the history, and the Chinese history is really relevant to our like Asia culture. So I learn a bit Chinese. I'm not really fluent about it. And secondly, about the image for Chang Yu, I'm not sure. So sorry. It's maybe Bá Vương Biệt Cơ, kind of. It's a movie about Chang Yu. So yeah, let me check and I can send you again. It's no big deal. That is.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how he looked like when he's back in the history, but the actor looked amazing. so handsome.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking for the movie because
yeah, he is the main character in that movie, so I think that's why. And Xiang Yu is one of the most influential character in Chinese history after Qin Dynasty. So I think yes. Oh, why not? Why not? They call me like God of War in Chinese history.
And comment on what me was asking. We speak Vietnamese and we speak English together, Liam, and I didn't realize that you also know Chinese. And when you say a certain word in Chinese, I thought you also speak Chinese. It sounds perfect to me because I don't speak them.
Yeah, I'm just good with Pinyin. Pinyin. Yeah, mostly I cannot read the real words. I can read the I show you Pinyin Bingum. Yeah, so there are two lines here. The first one is the raw character, and the second line is Pinyin, and it's much easier for me to 婆婆 Chen Zhou. It's just look at this and just some grammar, and we can read it. Not so hard, I think. Okay.
Yeah. So the most languages that we speak here, well, the main languages that we speak in here is Vietnamese, and then everybody learn English because it's dominant in the world, and then people underestimated speaking Chinese, but there are like 1/8 of the population. So if you can speak Chinese, you good.
Wow. Wow, thank you. Yeah, I see a lot of my friends in China, and I share a lot of Three Kingdom and their history story with them, and sometimes it's in China. And yeah, I see it really good. And I did this because I like it, not because of everything, just because I like it. So when you like it, it will be much easier, I think.
Okay, so I have a couple comments before we move on to me, and then Swan will have a question as well. So I noticed that you were teaching assistant, and you said you're teaching people in front of an audience of 50, 100 people.
Yeah.
Is it
150?
Is it the same feeling when you're presenting here in front of the audience? A little bit nervous?
It's a bit a bit different. I think this is less stressful because for students, I will receive after that I will receive a lot of questions, and a lot of them will be really insightful questions. That make me awkward, maybe, or sometimes it will be so obvious question like how do I take the screenshot? Okay, yeah. So I for the for the lecture, for my lecture, I have to prepare it like much detail in any detail, and I have to put more word on it. Maybe it's a 1 hour lecture, so that makes sense, right? I have to put more time on it.
So you see how us as people, and this is not just for you, Liam, it's for everybody as well, that you're so hard on yourself. You're doing great. You're a teaching assistant in front of a lot of audience, and your presentation is great. So don't be too hard on yourself. That's what I'm telling you, and that's what I'm telling myself as well.
Yeah. I actually, it's just the way I push myself forward, kind of. I always like set the bar higher than I can do, so I can improve it in every occasion and in any aspect. But thank you for that. Really, thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So a couple minutes for the audience if you want to ask the questions to Liam.
So I do have questions. What does this sentence mean?
Sorry?
What does this sentence in Vietnamese?
Listen, yeah, the meaning of the that's right, phó phủ chân châu ấy. It's phá phủ trầm châu. Yes, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Phá phủ.
What exactly means in Vietnamese?
Break the current, like đốt thuyền đập niêu.
Huh?
Phá phủ trầm châu. Okay.
I don't understand Chinese. Please speak Vietnamese.
Okay.
If you actually, if you
it's like Han Việt. So phá phủ mean break the current, like phá nồi, break the current, and trầm châu là trầm châu là thuyền.
Đắm thuyền.
Đắm thuyền. Yeah. Đốt thuyền đập niêu. Yeah, that's
this is like the war's tragedy when you need to defeat the other. Khi mà mình muốn, I don't know, khi mà mình muốn tiêu diệt đối phương, thì ngày xưa là mình phải đi thuyền, right? Boat and everything. So is that right?
Yeah, thì trận này là trận cự lộc của Hán Sở Tranh Hùng. Thì khi mà quân Sở đánh quân Tần, mang quân đến thì quân số chỉ bằng 1/10 thôi, và vượt sông xong thì Tây Sở Bá Vương Hạng Vũ hạ lệnh là đốt thuyền và đập hết niêu, đốt hết doanh trại, và chỉ giữ lại 3 ngày lương, và bảo với quân sĩ là bây giờ chỉ có một cách duy nhất là tiến lên và thắng, hoặc là tại vì không còn đường lui nữa, thuyền đốt rồi, nồi niêu xong chảo cũng đập hết rồi, thì tinh thần quân sĩ lại lên và thắng 9 trận liên tục và thắng luôn trận chiến đấy, thắng luôn cuộc chiến đấy. That's nghĩa là không còn đường để lui ấy, thì trong tìm được sinh lộ trong tử huyệt. Kind of that's it.
I think that's interesting. But in Vietnamese history, we have the exact opposite story, right?
I think there are many other versions in many cultures, not just in Vietnam or in Western country. They have some sentence like get out of comfort zone, or pressure make there no diamond with pressure. That's another version. But it's the real story, and it's how I learned. But I cannot remind me from any other story in Vietnamese. Maybe if I have it, I will point out. It's in military called artist.
Thật ra việc cho nó dễ ha, tức là thật ra mình thấy nó cũng khá là thú vị. Tại vì mình thì không có biết sử Trung Quốc, nhưng mà trong sử Việt Nam á, nó có cái trận là hình như trận Tết Mậu Thân á, thì là bên tướng ở bên mình đó là nuôi quân rồi cho ăn Tết sớm, rồi cho ăn thật là no hay gì đó, rồi xong cuối cùng là thắng. Cái approach nó khác nhau.
Hai trận khác nhau. Thì Tết Mậu Thân có hai trận Tết Mậu Thân. Trận Tết Mậu Thân 1986 thì là thì chắc là không phải rồi. Cái trận Tết kia là trận của Quang Trung đánh quân Thanh.
Đúng
Trận Quang Trung đánh quân Thanh đấy, thì cái cách đánh của Quang Trung lại là đánh uy hiếp tinh thần, với là đánh phủ đầu rất mạnh và gần như là hành quân thần tốc ấy. Thì chưa ấy lắm. Thì Quang Trung đơn giản là cái việc ông ấy cho ăn sáng trước là cái thể hiện cái sự tự tin của Quang Trung thôi, chứ còn cũng chưa hẳn là cái tử huyệt lắm, tại vì quân ta lúc đấy là phe tấn công và cũng còn đầy đường lùi, nghĩa là ở Thanh Nghệ ta còn 10 vạn quân mà. Cũng yeah, it's good for it. And Quang Trung, your great general. Okay. Is that also the question? I think so.
Yeah. So I just wonder, like, what happened if you, okay, so there's some situation you can put you can't see the cauldron, because like, for example, your certificate, right? So you pay for the fee for the exam, so you have to go. But what happened if the test is free and like there's no pressure on the test, but like, for example, if your test is free and you can take whenever you want, so how can you break the cauldron?
Yeah, it's really a great question. It's really great question. It's also the point I miss every day. Okay, the point is it's not just break the current. That's obviously right. But the point is make some pressure for yourself. Make some sorts like sorted source milestone so you can get it. It's one of the way to get rid of procrastination. Okay, so it is free, right? So I think it's really hard. I think so. I really think it will be hard. But what if I do? If I enjoy situation, I will set some of the deadline for me for learning. But it's still not enough stressful if you think. But to try it, set a short short-term milestone for that, and put some reward or even drawback about it. Sorry.
I think that the word you were trying to say is set a standard for yourself, because everybody have a standard for you, but set a standard where you can achieve and want to achieve what you're going for. The test is free, but it's free in the sense of you don't have to pay for anything, but for yourself, because it's free, you have no standard because you think that it is free. But if you said it's free, but I have to go and get it, and you would do everything in your power, and this is important enough for your career in your life, and you press yourself hard enough, you will be able to do it. Will that answer your questions?
Yeah. I think it's like a set of goals.
Also, can I ask one more question? A question for you. Is there any rich or enjoy like situation the rich? What if you cannot get it?
What happened if you don't have that certificate?
No, it's like
it's
if
nice
I have
to
it,
have. It's not good to have, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's just nice to have, but it's not like requirement, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think in that case, it's not important enough for you to spend time on. So it's a way to get rid of it. So I have a lot of long-term story, like learning like 3 other language and other things, but it's not so important for me. So it's also one way for me to get rid of it and schedule my time for other better things, which is more important for me. Yeah. So if it's there no risk on it, you should ask yourself again, is it worth for you to spend time for it?
So if there is a rich, so if there is a rich, then
if it's not, it's worth enough to set some risk on. So it will be like much more valuable, right? So for my in my current sense, I don't have to pay. I can just I don't, yeah, no one require me to do that certificate just because I want it. So I make risks for it, make some risks for it. Because if it's not enough for you, not worth for you to do risky on that thing, just ask yourself again, is it worth for you? Do you really want it? If you really want it, you can find some way to set a short-term goal. That's my
cool.
idea.
Yeah, cool. I get it.
Okay, so before we move on, Swan have a comment, and then Rusi, she also have a comment, but after Swan. Would that be okay, guys? And then we can move on to Lee.
Thank you a lot. Actually, it's not a comment, just a question, because this is very interesting. And thank you, Liam, for sharing your story and strategy. I find it's very relatable to me because by the way that I can observe myself, and sometimes the way that I see my mind work when it comes to the deadline. So my question is, I'm wondering when the first time you apply your strategy to the exam, or anything in your life, the first time, did you find difficulty, or did you make it at the first time? Or if you fail at the first time, how come you overcome it?
Fail? You mean the fail?
You mean like, because from my experience, the first time when I set like a goal or something, sometimes procrastination is the big challenging to me. So it took me some time to overcome it, right? But then like you, so I'm wondering if you set your goal and you overcome your procrastination at the first time, you can make it, or maybe at the first time you fail and then you try it again or again. Yeah.
Thank you. I got your question. Actually, it's what I really experienced. Okay, for the first time I applied that strategy, I think I applied it before that, but after I can figure it out what strategy is maybe for my IL certificate for my IL, and yes, you may fail for the certificate. I can fail for my CISP, I can fail for my IL, but I won for the monkey. I won the procrastination monkey. Yes, yeah. It's not strategy to win every battle, but just to win the procrastination monkey. I'm not sure that you can win the exam. It's depends on a lot of other aspects, like how your preparation, how your background and other thing, right? But I can be sure that you win the procrastination monkey. That's my idea. And actually for my CISP, I not win it in the first time. I mean I win in the first exam, but you can see here I set the appointment for 18 September, but I have to reschedule it one more week to get it much more confirmed. So I get it in September 29th, so 1 week later. I didn't get it in the first time, but I won the procrastination monkey. That is easy answer the question. Thank you.
And Rusi, your questions?
Yeah.
You've been nodding and you were like, okay.
I've been on and off, all over the place. So first, I really like Tian's questions because, what if you have to pay for the license and what if you don't have to pay? But I just want to make some points because Tian, have you asked yourself, how bad do you want that license? How bad, like if you get a license in the future, how would it change your life? How would it change your career in the future? So ask yourself that question. And if you want it enough, even though you have to pay for it or it's free, you still like go off for it. So just ask yourself that question and hopefully you can find your answer for it because nobody can answer for you, just yourself. Is it like you want it enough to make it happen? Either with money or without money. So yeah, I just want to make some point like that. And for Liam, I heard Flora said you only been in Canada for less than a year, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
and,
I think 5 months.
How many months?
5 months.
Wow, good for you. So congratulations. How you like Canada?
Thank you. I love it so much. Yeah, actually, it's my first winter. So let's see. But for the summer, it's so good. I really like the weather and the natural thing, culture, and
Yeah.
people are so friendly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, the first winter in Canada is like Wonderland. Beautiful. Beautiful everywhere.
After
But
10 years, you're like, fuck it, why am I here? Sorry.
No.
The second, the third, it's still beautiful.
Really?
Telling you guys, still beautiful, but
No.
the experience will be different. So I wish you enjoy your very first winter in Canada. And
Yeah, that's right.
and so for the question, so you said you still improving your public speaking. And for myself, even though I've been here for 4 years, I still have to like every day to improve my public speaking, especially in English, because English is not our first language. And
Yeah.
when I have to present it all like people who speak language their first language, I feel like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna say it wrong. I'm gonna say it. I'm not comfortable. I'm scared they're gonna make fun of me. But I would like to know the story of your first time speaking in public. How is it feel? How good did you prepare for it for the first time? Especially you only been here for 4 months. Sorry, 5 months.
Oh, okay. So I want to make clear the question more a bit. So first of all, is the public speaking in English or public speaking at all? I mean, the first time I do public speaking in English, or you
In
asking
Canada.
in
In Canada.
Okay. The public speaking, I think is my it will be my first lecture to my student. I prepare for it. Okay. First of all, I have a slide. I have to do the slide, and I have to make sure that I understand what I'm like teaching them, and I prepare some kind of interaction question to interact with them to make me feel more comfortable, not just for them to be comfortable. It's just for me to be comfortable, and yeah, that is. I just make sure that I understand what I'm teaching them. So when I make sure that I can extend it, and it will be much more influent. That's it.
And how you keep your audience pay attention to your speech?
Yeah.
What did you
That's,
do?
yeah, I told you before that I prepare some kind of interaction question to dig deeper into what I'm delivering. So yeah, every time I see, like, actually it didn't happen to me, but if I want to dig deeper to get them understand it deeper, and to do something more fun, I ask them questions relevant to their life, but not personal question. For example, I talking about Linux system, and I will asking them what OS you are working on, and do you see the difference between Windows OS or Mac OS? Yeah, it's what they are watching, and it's relevant to them. So it's kind of interaction question. So it's helpful for me, really helpful, because I see that Western country like student here is much more active than people in Vietnam. So they asking me a lot of questions and interact me, react to me.
Okay, so can we save all the questions for after me, because we're out of time? So let's me have her presentations. I know, I'm sorry, I'm a party poopers, but let's move on to the next presentation, and then we can have all the questions at the end. Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Liam. You've been great. And again, don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, Me, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
And again, I know Me, she's I don't know her personally a lot, but she's been great. And again, she's been in Canada for less than a year. So let's hear her story.
Thank you, Chi. Anyway, I feel this one is more nerve-wracking than presenting to my client though, but okay, whatever. Well, excuse my cartoon slides. I didn't really present this kind of presentation to my client though, but yeah. So for today, this is some kind of like message to myself and also like a friendly reminder to all of us, like in a Thanksgiving month, that we need to kind of like be grateful for what we have in life. Anyway, before we dive deep into the content of the presentation, just a little bit about myself. My full name, Lê Trà My. I was born in Vietnam, and then after that, I moved to Czech Republic for a few years, and then come back to Vietnam for primary school and then high school. And then I went to the US to study for my university, and also like I stayed there for 1.5 years for my first job. After that, I transferred to Singapore, internal transfer. And then now I'm here in Canada for my third job, also internal transfer. I've been here since August. So is that like 2 months? So yeah, so far so good. Anyway, yeah, so before I actually start with my first first topic, if you can quickly just, I don't know, raise your hand or put the answer within the chat, that would be great. I just want to know like what you guys all think. So is your major that you studied back in school different, like the one you graduated different from the one you first registered for, or is it the same? You can just like put a quick note in the chat, or you can, you know, like open your mic and just voice it out.
Yes and no for me.
Oh, yes and no. Like, how come is a yes and no?
So my first bachelor degree is in IT. And then after I graduated from my university, I worked in IT for 3 months. And then I decided to change to another career in HR. And then I went to university again to get another bachelor degree in business administration. And then I continue working in HR, and I got my MBA in HR.
Oh, I see. So like IT to HR, and now you're doing MBA. Oh, wow, such a huge change. Yeah, I also see that from the chat that it's kind of like a mixed answer for everyone. Some are fortunate enough to actually like keep the same major throughout their study, and some actually change their major last minute. For myself, then yeah, so the first story is about like choosing which major, because personally I've always admired people who know what they want, like they know this is the path that they want to pursue since the very beginning. I did not have that kind of privilege. I was struggling, see, with all kind of majors, like, oh, should I do like finance, which is a very trending major, everyone go for it, or like marketing, HR, project management. And then after that, well, I mean, like, it's not that bad until I need to apply for my first internship, because like at that point of time, you really need to know which path that you would like to pursue. And then as you hear, this is totally a disaster. I got rejected for all the business related jobs that I applied for. And then, okay, back then in my school, like each student have 25 options to apply for the internship, and then like to reach the maximum 25, I apply for some random jobs which related to coding, which I know nothing about at that point of time. And then yeah, I got the interview request for that one. That's the only interview request that I got at that point of time. So but then, oh, oopsie, oops. But then the job itself, well, I mean, it's a totally new field. I need to learn everything again. Literally, they paid me to learn at work, and then the commute time is just like really awful. Just imagine like you have like 24 hours a day, and you already spend like almost 4 hours like on bus, on train, and then walking. And then throughout the winter, just imagine you need to go through all of that during the winter going to work. So the situation back then was like terrible setting to me. I didn't know how I actually overcome it. But actually, that experience turned out to be like a very good thing for my personal development, because after that, I was like, oh no, finance is not for me. Marketing is not for me. HR is not for me. But I find my joy in like coding. I did a VBA. I learned everything from scratch. I switched my total major from a business side to a little bit more like technical side. I did management information system with a minor in IS. I think that because of that internship, thanks to that internship, it appeared to be a very unfortunate event at first because it was not my intended major, and then like the commute time is terrible and so on and so forth. But then I finally found the major I need to do in school. So that's my first story about and then hopefully like for other people like in the call today, in case you're still in school and you're struggling with what you want to do in the future, like no worry, sometime along the way during your 4 years, some event's gonna happen that actually like triggered you. Oh, nice, Whitney. Yes. Anyway, yeah, sometime along the way, you'll figure it out. No worry. Anyway, another question might be very relatable to a lot of you in the call today. Have you ever lived in foreign countries on visa status, for example, like Canada right now? How many of you, like, you can raise your hands or something like that? Are you on visa? Visa, yeah, same here. So. So I've been living on visa status for like 10 years because I've been moving around, but all on visa. I'm no PR and citizenship. Okay, except for Vietnam. Okay, that doesn't count. But yeah, I've been traveling around. And then remember I mentioned earlier on that I actually spent some years in the States for my university and also for my first job. So yeah, so it's American dreams. And then normally like when I see my friend, normally people would go from like a student visa to like a work visa. Eventually the company gonna sponsor them for a green card to become like a PR and then go to citizenship. And then have you ever heard of the H-1B, the work visa in the US? Yeah. So that's like a infamous like lottery that you've ever heard for the work visa. The first route is the lottery. The second round normally is just like paperwork. If you already passed, like majority of the people actually fail on the lottery, and then when it go to the second round, it's just, you know, like additional paperwork checkpoint, like most people got it. And then after that, you got granted for the H-1B, of course, for just a few years, and then you need to renew it. But yeah, somehow, some way, I don't know, I got through the most difficult route. I got invited through the lottery. But then on the second round, it's like nobody failed that one, but I did. Like I missed some documentation. My lawyer at that time was on vacation. He didn't pass my work paper to another backup lawyer. So yeah, so I passed the deadline. And then to add up on that, the lawyer, after he came back from the vacation, he notified me only 5 days before my deadline to get out of the US. So, you know, like normally they give you a range to get out of the country after you got your visa expired. He only notified me like 5 days before. So you can imagine my schedule was like very hectic. I need to, you know, like sublease everything. All of my friends were so sorry for me, and they was like, oh, okay, you need to go back. And like, I don't know, a lot of farewells and tears and crying and so on and so forth. Everything was so hectic. And it was like an emotional roller coaster, I would say. But yeah, that's kind of like a really huge deal for everyone that you got your work visa rejected, and I gotta leave the States. But I end up landing in Singapore, where in Southeast Asia, I travel everywhere. I was the closest to home ever over the last few years. I could see my parents like almost every other weekend if I like. And then like going travel to Thailand or Malaysia is just like 1 hour away. So convenient. Income tax is like super low. Like I don't even know that. Yeah, I reunite with my husband, then boyfriend at the time. We got married, so everything worked out fine. And then yeah, I switched my career path from IT auditor in New York to consulting career path. So I figured out like a different path for myself. So eventually it seems like everything is fine. I actually enjoyed my time in Singapore. So So thinking about that now, I don't think like failing the H-1B visa in the States, it's a total like a disaster. I mean, of course, I wouldn't know what it would turn out if I stay there, right? But at least eventually after that, everything is fine for me. Okay, next one. So, okay, for your job, what you're doing right now, is it the same with the one you study in school? I know, Whitney, you said that you actually did HR and then your degree is IT, but oh, I'm out of 10 minutes. Okay, never mind. Can I just finish the rest of my slides? It's real quick.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna skip this question then. I know I talk a lot. Yeah, but again, total disaster when I first moved to Singapore, because like I got like deranking. I need to work everything again to up the ladder. And then like my question at then was like how to get visibility, how do I prepare for my next promotion? But then unfortunately, like right at the beginning of my job, I got staffed into a client side, a remote side for like 1.5 years. I literally got the call, like notification when I was in a Phu Quoc Island eating bún quậy kiến xây, and then I got the call that I need to be somewhere else for 1.5 years. Yeah, and this is my bún quậy kiến xây, you know. And yeah, the job itself is very confusing because the client was so messy at that time. I mean, that's why they needed help. But also because I joined that one, I stayed there for 1.5 years. I became like best friend with client. After that, I built like a rapport with the client. I bring back a lot of like other offers and projects to the companies. I eventually got promoted. I even find out that within information security in general, I'm most interested in data security and data leakage prevention. So well, everything turned out to be like, okay. So yeah, food for thoughts. This is the wrap up. Things happen for a reason. Please stay optimistic. This is, to be very honest, this is the thing that I keep telling myself whenever I'm in my downtime, that yeah, things happen for a reason. Just you know, like be yourself, stay calm, stay optimistic. I keep telling myself that every single day, and then hopefully it would apply to you too. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of my slides.
Oh gosh. Okay, before anybody may comment, thank you so much. Your slides and your story make me cry emotionally. But first of all, there's so many major that you're skipping. But from my perspective, whatever the presentation you just did, it sold me your story. So marketing is one of your aspects as well if you need to fall back on. And sorry for everyone on the call. I have 2 people that I know, me and Liam, they both in IT, and this might be a technical languages and technical aspect of the IT word that you might not understand, but I do understand, and we all introverts. So for Liam, CISSP, it's like the master of IT, and he nailed it at the first time. I failed 3 times to get that certification. He nailed it at the first time. So I'm very honored to know him. And me, she's modest about what she achieved, and you can see whatever the story she's telling you and exactly what the Speak Up Club mission is. Like, be yourself, no judgment. And and I didn't hear all her story, but hearing her story now, it just make me want like, oh gosh, what am I doing here? 10 years, oh gosh, you know that kind of feelings. So that is my comment. And there's always a but, and she has her but, everybody had their but. So not the but the but. So fire your question. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
Well, thank you for your nice word though.
I would like to have some question and some comments first before the question. For me, I really like your English, and I think that is really great to have you here in Canada and in the speaking Speak Up Club today to share your story with everyone. First of all, I'm so in admire mode to your journey. It is so inspiring in some ways that you make this far. And more importantly, you always be optimistic and be positive during the way. So that's also the way that's also the things that I want to ask you. I can see that you've been through a lot of ups and downs with your schooling, with your career. You are not who you are or what you do right now at the very beginning, but you've been through a lot of soul searching and a lot of difficulty in order to get where you are right now. So I just want to know, when you change from one path to another path, for example, you said that you changed your major from business related field to information system management, and then you change your work, your career path from I think IS into consulting. It's gonna be a lot of thinking that one person, I think that you as a very mature professional would have to pay in order to, like, a lot of thoughts you have to pay into deciding to switch, because it's gonna take a lot of effort in order to switch from one thing that you've been in so long to another thing. So at those moments when you make that decision, what kind of thought that keep you up and running? Like, what kind of thought that keep you saying, okay, I'm going to leave behind what I've been doing in order to go to do something else even better for me, or at least I believe is going to be better for me in the future. So what kind of thought and what kind of attitude that keep you moving from one place to another place like that, relentlessly?
Well, I mean, thank you for your question. I'm still in the progress of the word you say, soul searching. I'm still progressing. But yeah, for example, of course, like when I first thought, when the thought of switching came up to my mind, a lot of disadvantages also came up with it as well. Like when I told my parents that I'm going to switch my major for the 4th time, my parents flipped up like, are you about to drop school? Like, what are you going to do with your life? Like, we paid so much for your school, and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so I actually convinced them and convinced myself with the actual work. I already gave it like 6 months of the internship to actually test it out. I didn't just like go the first week at work and then decided that, oh, I need to switch from the business related to a technical related. I gave it like a 6 months. After that, I came back to school. I like generally just measure the risk, find more evidence to support that the new way is the correct way for me to pursue on, do some more research, for example, like taking more classes, or in terms of switching a country, I actually went to Canada in 2019 to just do like market research to see how Canada looks like before I actually move here. So finding more evidence to support, to actually see both pros and cons of each option, and then even wait it out. I'm a very theoretical person as well. I even like made an Excel chart, Excel table, like rating criteria number 1, pros 5 points, pros, I don't know, 6 points, and you just like sum it up and count it down in case that all of your options like very close to each other. But yeah, eventually I was like, you only regret what you don't do. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons everywhere. I mean, just go for it. We're still young. We still have time to make mistake and actually change it. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, like when you have families and kids, that's where you have more responsibilities. You cannot be as reckless as before. Maybe T Flora will know about that. I just called her last week. I need another change, but I have responsibilities now. I cannot change. But yeah, so yeah, just pros and cons everywhere, but people only regret what they don't do. Yeah, don't quote my word for it in the future. If you switch something and then you like blame me, like, oh, me said that during the Speak Up Club. Okay.
No. Yeah, I think, yeah, go ahead.
No, I think that's a very good thing to say. Like people, I usually live by that saying too. Like people usually regret of what they didn't do rather than what they did. So I really hope that we, as people in Canada right now, will not regret of what we're doing right now, even. So Thank you so much for your sharing.
Thank you for the question, though.
So I don't know if anybody have any other questions. I just have one comment. So Di Hoa, sorry, she just made a comment, but she is the people who move ahead of us, and that's what she's been telling us, that you will regret the things that you don't do. So do whatever you think it's right at the moment and it fit your situations. And me, are you sure you're not in sales and marketing? Because like you tell me your story.
Well, okay, I take that as a compliment.
but you very good, and it's anything you do. And for everyone on the call, we in Canada. So why Canada? I'll take whoever want to answer that question. Why Canada? I have mine too, but I'll tell you after everyone else. So, Rusi, let's go ahead.
That's a good question. I honestly don't know. So I just come here. So I live in Ottawa. I don't know if anybody else in Ottawa, Ontario as well. I live in Ottawa. And I have my aunts and uncle live in Australia. I have family in Australia. I didn't have any family at all in Canada. And one day my mom just called me, hey, you want to study abroad in Canada? Well, sure, I do it. And then I picked Ottawa because I didn't know, because Toronto is a little bit too busy. Ottawa, I thought it's capital of Canada. It's maybe like Hanoi or something fun. And I landed here and I saw, is it Ottawa? It's like nothing to do, like literally nothing, like just farms. And like back then 4 years ago, I love bubble tea. And back then 4 years ago, there's only two options in Ottawa, either jet tap or special tea, nothing else. So, but right now after 4 years, Ottawa started to have like gong cha, kung fu tea, cocoa. So Ottawa started to develop, but you know, I fell in love here. I'm not gonna live anywhere else because Toronto is too expensive. I don't speak French, so I don't want to move to Quebec. Or Vancouver too expensive too. So I think I love Ottawa, and I love the people here, and I found my husband here. So you never know. You never know. Just follow your heart and follow your dream and your goals.
Sorry, I'm on mute. Who wants to take the next response? Okay, Swan, go ahead.
Yes. First of all, I would like to thank you so much, Me, for being here with us today. That's such an awesome presentation. And you may see that my role at a timer, right? I'm going to read the green card when you read 8 minutes, and yellow card at the 9 minutes, and then the red card at the 10 minutes. But actually, I so nailed with your story. And then when I look at the timer, and oh my God, 10 minutes. So I just suddenly read this one, but actually you cast it right. Like when I read and you cast it shows that you are such a great presenter because you noted the timer, right? You know what you're talking, the way that you manage your presentation. That's such awesome, and we learn a lot from that. Because at the SpeakUp Club, we here to try to learn the presentation skill. Because me as well, as the introverts, and before I came in Canada, I never go in the public. But when I come here to study, have a chance to practice the public speaking, I open myself a little bit with my family and other around me. So I learned a lot from that. That's such an awesome. And just thank you so much for being here today. Your story is such an inspiring. Thank you. Over to you, Flora.
Thank you, Chi.
And to Whitney, you have a comment? Not, sorry, Whitney, Queen, you have a...
Yeah, I think to your question, why I chose Canada to be my next destination and maybe a long-term destination, I think I myself always a travel lover. I happened to be out of my first job at that time, and I was wandering around on the internet, looking at something else to do, and I saw the picture of Banff. So I do have some friends who traveled there, and then they took like magnificent pictures, magnificent sceneries in Banff, and I told myself that I have to be there to witness that beauty of nature. And I started doing research about studying abroad in Canada, and even better, at that time I get to know that Canada grant 3-year work permit, which means after my work, after my study, I can stay and work and travel and experience life here in Canada more. I had never actually had the thought of being settling here down for so long or even permanently. But so far so good. I mean, Canada treated me pretty well, and I think I have no idea of moving elsewhere in the like kind of early time. So I think that I love Canada because everybody's so nice, and people is the factor, is the most important factor that keep me here. And yeah, because now I have a boyfriend, and we kind of like find that life in Canada is so suitable for us, and it's kind of like a promising lane to be here in the future, and is nice to all of us. So is working out, thankfully, to using your word, me is working out, thankfully. But anyway, apart from that, I do have a question that I've been saving to ask Liam, because we ran out of time. So I want to ask you, because you talk about your story, how you get your certification, which is a really kind of like big in your field, and people might spend months or years to get that, but for you, you took 5 weeks, which is really admirable effort, I have to say, I have to admit. So at that time, I believe that you were working as well, right? You were working and you were studying for the certificate. And what time, like, how did you manage your time? And more importantly, how did you manage your energy during that time in order to fulfill both responsibilities?
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the question. It's really interesting question. First of all, I have many points about talking about it. So my management skill, my management strategy is called eating the frog. I type here, eat the frog. It's what I do for my time management. So I will schedule my first top priorities tasks that I can done right away. And I spent in that 5 weeks, I spend all my free time on studying. That's all. And the third point is like working out. I keep working out every day. So yeah, working out not just for the physical health, it's also good for the mental health, and it's helped me, it's gave me energy for whole the day long. I wake up at it's still summer at that time, so I wake up at 7 a.m. and then work out at 8, and I have a whole day long until like 11 or 12. And in that 5 weeks, I spend all my free time not for studying. So it's really intensive and it's stressful at that time. I will not do it every day, but just have time and do working out and eat the frog. That's it.
How
Did
do you
answer the question?
between your study and your work responsibilities? I mean, we all drain after a long day working, right? So how can you actually manage your energy? You said that you work out. I think you did running, because it can give a lot of energy to you. So how can you actually kind of fulfill all your work responsibility, and then you go home and still have energy and then do the study effectively?
Another trick of myself, I don't study at home. Home is for resting. So I bring all my stuff in my campus, in my library, to do all the stuff. So I leave my library at like 11:30, kind of, and I just bring a small bag of lunch, And yeah, I'm not recommend it for daily routine, just for intensive routine. Research. But it's my trick. I never study at home. I will have a space for study, have a space for working. And when I come home, I just rest, and it's easier. That's much more easier when I already set it for working, for resting.
That's a very useful tip that I never thought about. Like, I do run, I do exercise, but having a appropriate and private place for working and for studying, which is different from resting, is a really good tip. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no worry.
Okay, one comment. So you know why? I think now I get it. So home is the space where you feel most comfortable and you never want to do anything. So if you go to a public space, you go to a library when people are doing the thing that they normally do, studying, reading, and I get it. Home is just when you're like, oh gosh, I have to study. Gosh, I have to do my work. And that's why working from home is like, for me, it's a double-edged sword. When I'm at work, I think like I do more at work. I'm working from home, but I do work as well. But then I was like, yeah, lunchtime, I'm gonna take a nap, So working from home is great. But then at the same time, because in your comfortable space, you just don't feel like doing your maximum capacity. You know what I mean? So great tip. Going to library, people are studying, so you have to force yourself to do the same thing. We're human. We have the capacity to like follow what people are doing, and I can understand that. And we are so modest about what we do, guys. Gosh. Okay, I'll leave the last comment to Tien, and then anybody else want to make comment, and I'll wrap up because we run out of time. But this is great sessions. Every single bi-weekly, this is my ritual, and I enjoy your company. I enjoy your support, and I'm thankful for knowing all of you people. You are so great, and you're just so modest. Gosh.
Wow, Liam, I just wow, holy crap. This guy like we almost like got us. Is that you got like some tip from TED Talk, Liam?
Yes, TED Talk is one of my favorite channels. A lot of them.
Because I see Eat the Frog and another one. So you said before, I know I saw it. I saw all those things.
The Procrastination Monkey, you mean?
The monkey things, right? So it's I was like, whoa, this guy watches the same thing I watched on TED Talk.
Yeah.
It's like all those things very useful. I love it.
Thank you, Just make it.
Yeah, and also the thing with the tip you say about like working in the different rooms and like resting in another rooms. It's actually there's like a scientific about the correlation, like it was like a behavior of your mind. It's in the subconsciousness. You don't know that, but it's there. So that's why I explain. You should get things done in the different place.
Yeah. Another application of that approach, but I never bring my my cell phone near my bed. Like it will be 5 meters at least far from my bed. So my bed is for sleeping. So I get rid of my phone every time I go to the bed. Yes, it's another application of that. It's for good sleeping.
Distraction.
Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you for the comment.
Okay,
back to you, Flora.
No problem. So I'm gonna do something different this week. I'm just thinking about it. If I see you beautiful people next meeting, I have something on my agenda. That's that. Tell me one thing you're gonna do or make a difference in your life, whatever you do, something that out of your ordinary, out of your schedule, something great. And then you can tell me next week. but I'm gonna write down. I'm gonna check it next week. So we'll start with Swan because she's laughing.
So Flora, just want to make sure that I get your point, that what the schedule I will make great, right?
What's this going to something you're gonna do in the next 2 weeks until we meet again?
Okay.
Out of your schedule, out of your ordinary.
I
Drink
just
a
want
bottle
to
of tequila, or you know, talk to a stranger on the street, whatever flow your boat.
Well, to be honest, I have an exam in December. I procrastinate it for a while, and then maybe after this, I register for that, because that's also very intensive too. I have work and children, and taking that, I plan for that for a long time, but I know that is time to do that. So I will do it. I will let you know next week if I pay for it or not.
You know, Liam said he scheduled his exam twice. I scheduled my 3 times. I failed 3 times. No, so I failed 2 times, and I passed at, you know, the 3rd time. So, you know, let us know next week.
Yeah, for sure. I will pay that, because before that, I register many exams. I failed sometimes, but the more that I fail, I take it again and I pass it, and I know that I can do it more. So that's the lesson learned I get from that. It's just about the scheduling, the timeline, and my physical and mental health as well. I need to take it into consideration, but we don't know, right? We need to put the pressure to see
so next 2 weeks, I'll know when you're gonna schedule your exam before December. I have time. Rusi?
Anyway, I want to make clear this about my strategy. That's it's not the key for winning the battle. It's the key for winning the monkey, right? So yeah, for the battle, it depends on your other aspects, your like inside, your working, your experience, and a lot of things. So yeah, that is just for and I didn't fail the first one. I at that time I reschedule it one, so I delay it 1 week after my first, but keep intensively, because at the first I'm not really confident at that battle. I'm confident with my monkey, but not for the battle. So okay, so yeah, that's what I want to make clear.
Okay, Rusi, go first, and then you, San, and you guys, you should be in the same thing. Gosh, you switching faces so people get confusing.
We only have one here.
Okay, let's Rusi go. Go ahead, Rusi.
Yeah, thanks. For myself, I am a self-employed and I'm working from home, so I have nobody's control my schedule. So I have to control my own schedule, my own activity. So right now, I very strict to my mental health development. So right now, have you ever heard about 75 Hard Challenge on TikTok? I'm doing the 75 Hard Challenge. So the rule is in 75 days, you have to read 10 pages a day. You have to drink 1 gallon of water a day. You have to do twice, work out twice. Each one 45 minutes, and one has to be outside. No cheap meal, no alcohol. Yeah, so that's the rule. And if you miss one of the day, you have to go back to the first day. So I have I think 23 days already. So in the next, and I'm reading my second book. And I think in the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna start a new book. So I think I'm gonna let you know next time we met what book I'm reading. So my first book is called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a good one, very good. I really highly recommend that book, so good. The book I'm reading right now is called Millionaire Successful Habits by Dean, I forgot his name, Dean something, I forgot his last name. So I'm finishing that book right now, and in the next 2 weeks, I will let you guys know what will be my third book.
Thank you. Me?
I don't know, maybe I'm gonna go to Dollarama and pick the picture for drawing, the paint by numbers. Oh, really? I have zero patience for that one.
Took me like 2 years to do one, so you're not the only one.
I'll try it.
Winnie? Winnie, you adventure, so what is your next destination?
Next destination is Toronto. So I will be moving to Toronto in November.
Really? When? What's the week?
November 1st.
We should catch up.
Sure.
November 1st, when you will be in Toronto, and then we'll hang out with Sand and Lam. Okay, you next. You and Lam both the same time because you're sharing this camera.
Just before we're talking about that, I just so talking about the procrastination monkey. So I'm have quite a bit experience with that, and my solution for that damn monkey is that, because I used to have that kind of problem in the past before I came into Canada, but for me, when I doing something that I know that monkey gonna stop that get in the way. So I know that I got a bunch of haters, like I really hate them and they really hate me too. So when I do something,
who cares?
When I do something I really want to achieve, but the procrastination monkey to get in the way, I tell them. I don't care whether they know it, they pay attention to that or they care, but just tell them. And it was like, okay, they know about it, so I have to do it. Or they just come back and they do some kind of, oh, that guy talked about that, but he didn't do that. So yeah, that my trick for that monkey when it comes to the decision to make about the monkey.
Nice.
And for the plan for the next week, probably I'm gonna learn something new about cooking. I'm gonna try to cook Western food. I was like, I cook most of Vietnamese food. I got my channel to follow on YouTube to learn about the recipes and stuff, but it all Vietnamese food. And I'm kind of guy, I need to learn something new that if I got like lamb, he want to eat some beef steak, I know how to make it, because I don't know how to make it, to be honest, at this point, but he really love it. And yeah, so that's a good
Get
one.
a piece of steak from Costco and then just like pan fried it with some onions and garlic, just how we do in Vietnam.
You stole my story. You stole my story. I was about to thinking about going to Costco to buy that steak.
Oh, gosh, I know. Been there, done that. So, Tien, thanks for your comment. Tien.
Oh, that's hard.
Maybe nail out exam for free.
Yeah, that's what, definitely.
Next week, no, next 2 weeks. So you have 2 weeks. The exam is free. So in 2 weeks, my challenge for you is just have the exam because it's free.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So you have my pressure and you have the group pressure. So that is
Tell
your
hater.
motivation.
Tell your hater.
Yeah, and that next 2 weeks when I meet you again, you're gonna tell me that, hey Flora, I passed it. Hey the group, I nailed it.
All right.
Okay,
Got it.
Was that enough pressure?
Good. Yes.
Awesome. Yes. Okay, it's not a promise, and if you fail, you have another 2 weeks, but it's not a free pass. Tell me next 2 weeks you're gonna pass it. It's free.
Yeah, I try.
Our exam costs like $1,000.
Oh my God! When I hear the cost, I was like, whoa, what the heck? 1,000? Holy my!
You fail many times. That's like $8,000 you have to pay.
I thought you can't. Oh,
no,
you failed 2 times, right?
I failed 2 times, yes. And then I paid 3 times for that $3,000. So yes, yeah. But I didn't
Very
give up.
expensive license, huh?
But I didn't give up. So I hope next 2 weeks I hear you pass that exam.
Yeah, I will try and get it. 100%.
And then chị Hoa, last but not least.
Uh,
I love to see your face. You never turn it on. You just decided.
No, I also have a big assignment I have to do in next 2 weeks. So I hope that I can get at least 80% for that assignment. So I will let you know about the result in next 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're gonna tell us
Yeah.
all about it. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we always running out of time. Sam, can you get Lam here? I never hear what he's gonna do in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. I meant to avoid that question, but my
Why?
bad.
What the hell?
Yeah. Because I'm having a guilty pleasure right now of not doing a certificate that I meant to do at the beginning of this year. It's actually my resolution at the beginning of 2021, saying that I'm myself for me only, that I have to get at least 3 certificates this year that I deem necessary for my career. Now I got a really good job, and this certificate that I'm going to take is not really related to the job that I'm doing, but it's still in my resolutions, and it's good for me in general for my supply chain management career. So I have to, like pull myself together, push myself a little bit more to do this certificate. And the reason why I asked Liam about your time management tips is because this certificate of myself is really, is a big deal in my field. So people usually take it in 3 to 6 months, or people usually have 2 or 3 years in order to take this. But I want to take something extraordinary. I want to be the one who take it without that much experience. So I mean to take this from now, I mean to take the time from now until the end of this year, which is around 2 months and a half, to take this 2 exams to get this certificate. So I think that next week I have to start doing it immediately, not procrastinate anymore. And I think that the section today is really coming in a good timing to wake me up from my long sleeping routine, saying that, hey, you have to beat that monkey and you have to start working your ass off right now. So I hope that next week I can get into my schedule of studying and for that certificate. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So now I have both of you on cameras. For all of you on the calls, San and Lam is one of our SpeakUp Club members, and they found each other through the club. But that's just one of the great things that I enjoy when I created this group, because again, I said it before, our community don't support each other enough, and we don't support each other mentally, physically, but mentally I can give all of the stuff that I can give, and hopefully I can bond people together. So here's some stuff that I'm gonna wrap up in 3 minutes. Why to Canada? Exactly the same with Rusi, that I have no absolutely idea. I don't even know where Toronto is in the map when I first started 13 years ago. But I started in somewhere that the unknown. So I started it in the unknown place. I found my family, I created a foundation here, and I have a life for myself. So what I'm giving back to the community, I want to give back to all of you. I started unknown. So if you need support from us, from the group, whoever, reach out. I'll support you if I can in my half an hour, whatever. And I hope that you can find connection through whatever the group that we have here. That's the number one. I have, okay, no commercialize here, but I know some people here have the talent that you can create something for yourself. Lucy, me, you have great marketing skill, great skill. I listened to your story and it touched me so much. And I'm great that I know all of you here. And Queen and Swen, you support me so much. And Jihua, oh my gosh, I can't stress it enough. I have some notes. So the following week, I will follow up with you guys. And I hope that you on point with your commitment. I'm here to support you unconditionally, okay? So have a great Sunday. And I'm been working so hard, and I know you are too, but I'm here to support you every other Sunday. And I'm here. That's the commitment that I make for the community. And I hope some commitment you make in your life, you know, this is the thing that I'm this is just me. When you make a promise, when you make a commitment, when you commit to something, follow with that, always go along with that, okay? Because that just show who you are and who you're prone to be. And people that make the commitment to themselves and to whoever they care about will make a successful life, okay? If you, this is my beef, don't make a promise when you can deliver. If you promise something in life, in your relationship, in your certificate, in your whatever, if you cannot deliver, don't make a promise. And that's what I'm taking it away. And that worked with me as well. When you promise somebody, you do something. When you promise your boss, you're going to deliver. When you promise with your certificate, you're going to get it. And if you can't, don't commit, whatever. And don't promise yourself, other people, because you know what? You're gonna disappoint yourself, and you're gonna disappoint other people around you. And that's what I want you to take away from. And have a great Sunday. And have a drink. If you don't drink, have a no gin.
Yay!
Yay. Okay, so Tien, get on with that. 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yay.
Don't feed the
Have
monkey.
a great Sunday, everyone. And thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.